and have children.
Right.
One of our viewers was so traumatized by their faith practice that they grew up in, or maybe they grew up with none at all. And they have kind of a shell of resentment, maybe in their atheism, maybe in whatever. And they've heard about spirituality, they've heard about a higher power. These are attractive ideas to them. But they're still afraid because their dad beat it out of them, or whatever. Is there a beginner's spiritual practice that you can offer, a non-threatening one, that might begin to help them crack the shell? I'm going to describe two hypothetical viewers for you. One of them is educated. They could be one of your neighbors. They're doing well financially. The chance of financial privation isn't even on their horizon. They could be a family person or maybe single, but they're very busy socially. They're busier than a one-armed paper hanger. The other person is someone maybe not so educated. Maybe they're struggling financially. Maybe they're serially unemployed. It's all they can do to get dinner on the table each day. Neither of these two people has ever done anything for anyone outside of their own narrowly defined self-interest, which may include their spouse and children. Why would they want to speak to them either together or separately? Why would they want to serve someone or something other than themselves?
One that I mentioned before, to do the right and the good, in which I talk about the fact that the tradition, I also wrote a book called The Way into Tikkun Olam, and in both of those books I talk about the multiple motivations that the Jewish tradition provides as to why we should serve others. And I'll just reel some of them off. You might do it because you think that God commands you to do it. The Torah certainly commands you to do it.
Right? It's about leaving the corners of your fields and et cetera, et cetera.
Okay? You might do it because you as a Jew are in a covenantal relationship, not only with other Jews, but with God. And part of that covenantal relationship is that is helping others as being part of the responsibility of that covenantal community. So Maimonides, for example, says that he doesn't know of a single Jewish community in which there was not a soup kitchen and a charity fund, right? Because that's what it means to be part of this covenantal community.
Okay.
A third thing that you might do is not because God commanded, but out of love of God. God wants you to be God-like, and to be God-like, or holy if you want to use the word, is to do what God does. And God, in fact,
is very generous.
Is very generous, right.
The fourth reason, very generous.
Right. Fourth reason is because this is the kind of person that you want to see yourself as being. Not simply as selfish and self-centered, but rather as somebody who also cares about other people. And certainly the tradition would encourage you to see yourself that way. Another reason would be you were in Egypt, right? And that's what the Passover Seder tries to get you to feel very graphically. But the point is that what the tradition says to us, you should know better than to abandon people who are destitute. You were destitute. You understood that in your very being, and so therefore, when you are better off, you should help others who are in fact destitute. That's simply part of your communal history, and in some ways part of your personal history as well, even if you've never had to worry about where the next meal was coming from. And then another reason, which is also in the tradition, but I like to frame it in the way of a little poem that I read once in Reader's Digest when I was waiting for my dentist one time. I sought myself eluded me. I sought my God I could not see. I sought my brother, and I found all three. The point being that it's when you start helping others that you get a much better sense both of yourself and also of God, truthfully. And so this is Martin Buber, basically. The way that you come to know yourself better, and that you come to like yourself better, truthfully, and also the way that you come to know God is by helping other human beings.
One of our viewers was inspired by what you just said. What could they expect to get out of serving someone or something else?
What they can expect to get out of serving someone else is, first of all, a sense that they are doing something deeply Jewish. Second, that they are being more godlike when they are doing this. Third, they will probably come into contact with other people who are doing this, so they will make friends and will create new relationships.
Better friends.
Better friends, right. Fourth, they will learn to appreciate what they have in their own lives and being able to help others who don't have those things. And they will get a better sense of what matters in life if they begin to help others, especially if if they are well off and now they're helping people who are not. They will get a much better sense of what really matters and what doesn't. And I think they will also be a much better model for their children, if they have them, for what matters in life for them as well as for the adults involved.
Can you suggest a non-threatening, get your toesies wet kind of service that they could offer? Maybe more than one.
Yeah. Again, the key here is what are you interested in, and start with that. But you can do Korei LA. You can help a kid who doesn't know how to read, or an adult for that matter, who doesn't know how to read. I'm talking about English. And you can do it an hour a week, several hours a week, whatever it is. And you don't have to have special skills for that except for the fact that you read. And you have to have a certain amount of patience. And they will train you, right? That's one easy thing to do. Another easy thing to do is help at the Sova kitchens, right? The Jewish Family Service runs these food pantries, and they need people to simply bag foods and hand them out several times a week, and to collect food from various places that collection bins at synagogues and things like that. That's an easy way to help. You can go to once a month at least. I think it's not more than that. There's a Project Chicken Soup where you help you go to the kosher kitchen on Fairfax, run by Jewish Family Service, and you help create meals for AIDS patients and their caregivers. You can do that on some Sunday morning. These are just some of the things that you could do if you want a hands-on, get your toes in. If you like fundraising, you can start doing some fundraising for a cause that you think is really important. If you like cooking, you could organize some kind of evening at your home in which you invite people, and you say that what we're doing is we're going to have refreshments, a meal, whatever it is, and we're going to talk about we're going to hear some people who are working with service organizations, let them come and describe what they do, and then people can make decisions as to what they would like to do.
If I could issue you a 100% ironclad guarantee of success, no chance of failure for your next project, what would you attempt?
I would attempt to make it financially possible for young Jews to, first of all, I would really be interested in every kind of program possible to get young Jews to meet each other and to provide them with the economic assistance to get married and begin to have children earlier on in their lives, and give them Jewish early nursery training, early childhood and day school or afternoon school, whatever they choose.
At discounted or free.
Yes, exactly right. That would be my priority number one.
Let's pretend for a moment that all 7 billion of us are going to watch this video. What would you say to us?
I would say yours is not to finish the task, but you are not free to desist from it. You have to learn how to help others who are in need. You have to pick some things that you can do, and you need to do those things.
If I could give you a superpower, any superpower, one that you've heard of, flying, x-ray vision, bending steel, or one that you make up on the spot, what superpower would you request?
Power to turn people's hearts towards each other.
You mean on a one-on-one basis, or just
Both
people in general?
People in general, right?
More people in general.
Yeah, because I think if people were less selfish and more humble about what they know and what they think is right and wrong, if people were, I have an article in this too, right? If you had more epistemological humility about what you think you know and also what you think is right and wrong, then I think if people had that, we would get along much better than we do. I mean, because a lot of the problems come out of sheer arrogance that we have. You know, if you want to know what's right, just ask me, right?
And if you don't like it, I'll beat it into you.
That's right.
Who are your heroes?
Well, aside from my parents, David McGilner, Rabbi David McGilner, who led that series of discussions when I was 15, is one of my heroes. Another one of my heroes is John F. Kennedy, and to a certain extent Lyndon Johnson before he got involved in Vietnam. I mean, he did what Kennedy could not do in getting the Civil Rights Act passed and the Voting Rights Act passed. And
he had Congress in his pocket, and
exactly
Kennedy did not.
That's right. But I mean, you know, all of his social programs were amazing. I mean, and he really did, you know, things that nobody had ever done before. People who have created cures to diseases, like Jonas Salk, even though I've never met the man, is a hero of mine. The person who discovered penicillin, it's because of him that I'm still alive, because I inherited the weakness in my bronchial tubes from my father's side of the family. My father had a brother who, in this country, got bronchitis and became pneumonia, and he died. I've had bronchitis about 15 times in my life, and I'm still around. So, you know, Fleming or whoever it was that discovered penicillin is a real hero for me.
For the rest of us who have mediocre or subpar parents, how can we as a society help them to become servant leaders?
I think it's in several ways. First, what I was saying before, try to get people to understand that whatever happened in their childhood, now they're adults, and they need to be able to take their adulthood, they need to take their lives in their own hands and to take responsibility for what they're doing now. And you can no longer blame it on what happened in your childhood. That was then, this is now. Do something that really makes you know, that is meaningful, that makes a difference in life. So the first thing is to take, I would say to them, that's then, this is now, take control of your life. Second thing I would say to them is, there are a lot of people your age and older who are really making significant contributions to this society and to world society. Latch on to any of them, right, including some of your friends who may be doing some kind of service, and just watch them do it and do it with them. It will first of all enhance your friendship, right, because it's the old Thielen principle that friendship comes out of shared work, right? So if you're doing things together that really matter, as well as things that are just fun, your relationship will be all the richer, and that will be also an entree into a career of serving others for reasons that are yours, not necessarily reasons that your parents would have had. And it's a way of making your life much more meaningful, and also you know, leaving things after you die that you can be proud of.
Is there anything I've neglected to ask you that bears mentioning at this juncture?
Probably not, but the one thing that I would say is that that we Jews inherit a very rich tradition, intellectually and culturally and communally in all kinds of ways. But one of the things that I am absolutely proudest of, in terms of my own Jewish tradition, is the degree to which it insists that we try to make this a better world. And I think that if I were committed to this tradition for no reason other than that, Dayenu, it would be enough.
Thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me. You're a very interesting and enlightening human being.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.